It's going well, and I feel like I'm carrying the torch for a lot of folks out there that are suffering from the same thing, you know.
You won't believe the secrets that Hollywood kept hidden for years. Some of the biggest stars lived double lives, and when their HIV/AIDS diagnosis came to light, it shocked the world. Let's dive into 25 celebrities whose HIV/AIDS diagnosis left fans absolutely stunned. Number 25, Rock Hudson. Hollywood's golden boy, Rock Hudson, was the epitome of charm and sophistication. But in 1984, he shocked the world with a revelation that changed everything. Rock Hudson was born Roy Harold Scherer Jr. on November 17, 1925, in Winnetka, Illinois. He was a prominent American actor, known for his roles during the golden age of Hollywood. Hudson had a screen career spanning over 30 years, from 1984 until his death in 1985. He achieved stardom with the film Magnificent Obsession in 1954. Hudson starred in several successful films, including All That Heaven Allows in 1955 and Giant 1956, the latter earning him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. He was a key figure in romantic comedies, notably co-starring with Doris Day in Pillow Talk in 1959 and Send Me No Flowers in 1964. Hudson's television career included the mystery series Macmillan and Wife, 1971 to 1977, and a guest appearance on Dynasty, 1984 to 1985. Hudson was diagnosed with AIDS in 1984 and was among the first celebrities to publicly disclose his diagnosis. He passed away on October 2, 1985, at the age of 59 from AIDS-related complications. He was noted for being discreet about his sexual orientation, though it was known he was gay within the industry. Number 24, Liberace. Behind the glitz and glamour of his dazzling performances, Liberace hid a secret that would only be revealed after his death, leaving fans in disbelief. Liberace was an American pianist, singer, and actor, celebrated for his flamboyant lifestyle. He died on February 4, 1987, at the age of 67. The cause of death was cytomegalovirus pneumonia, related to AIDS. Liberace had been secretly diagnosed with HIV and did not seek medical treatment after his diagnosis. His press agent initially reported heart failure caused by subacute encephalopathy as the cause of death. An autopsy confirmed he was HIV positive and incited cytomegalovirus pneumonia as the primary cause of death. Liberace's estimated net worth at the time of his death was $115 million, though this figure may have been exaggerated. He left the majority of his estate to his scholarship fund.
During the past 5 years, I increased my dosage until they are ready to take the whole course.
Number 23, Alvin Ailey. A trailblazing dancer and choreographer, Alvin Ailey's contributions to the arts were unparalleled, but his final act was kept hidden until the very end. Ailey was born to Alvin Ailey and Lula Elizabeth Cliff in Rogers, Texas, in his maternal grandfather's home at the height of the Great Depression. As a child in the violently racist and segregated South, during his youth, Ailey was barred from interacting with mainstream society. When he was 5, Ailey's mother was raped by 4 white men, one likely an employer, and Ailey recalled seeing members of the Ku Klux Klan as a child. Ailey joined Horton's dance company in 1953. While there, he took daily technique classes, studied art and music, and taught children's classes. In 1953, he made his debut in Horton's Revue La Bal Caribe. In a workshop the summer of 1953, Ailey created his first dance composition, Afternoon Blues. This work was a 3-minute solo blues adaptation of La Après-Midi d'un Faun, which he had seen performed by the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo. In this piece, Ailey played the eponymous faun to a selection from On the Town, a musical. Ailey died from an AIDS-related illness on December 1, 1989, at the age of 58. He asked his doctor to announce that his death was caused by terminal blood dyscrasia in order to shield his mother from the stigma associated with HIV and AIDS.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 1.
Number 22, Amanda Blake. She was the beloved Miss Kitty of Gunsmoke, but Amanda Blake's fans were left in shock when the true cause of her death was finally revealed. Amanda Blake, born Beverly Louise Neal, February 20th, 1929 through August 16th, 1989, was an American actress best known for the role of the red-haired saloon proprietress Miss Kitty Russell on the Western television series Gunsmoke. Along with her fourth husband, Frank Gilbert, she ran one of the first successful programs for breeding cheetahs in captivity. In the late 1940s, Blake was signed to Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer as the studio saw her as its next Greer Garson. She appeared in a few Hollywood films, such as the 1952 Western Cattletown, and in the starring role of Miss Robinson Crusoe, a 1954 adaptation of the Robinson Crusoe adventure. In 1954, she appeared in A Star is Born. Blake became best known for her 19-year stint as the saloon keeper Miss Kitty on the television series Gunsmoke from 1955 to 1974. On February 27, 1974, Blake brought a lion named Chemo onto the Gunsmoke set. On August 16, 1989, Blake died of AIDS-related pneumonia at Mercy General Hospital in Sacramento, California, at the age of 60. Her death was initially attributed to throat cancer, but after her death, her doctor publicly announced her death was due to complications from AIDS. It is not known how Blake contracted the disease. Blake's close friends insisted that she was not a drug user or sexually promiscuous, and that she may have acquired AIDS from her fifth husband, who also died of AIDS-related pneumonia in 1985. Number 21. Meritt Butrick. Young and rising, Meritt Butrick's career seemed unstoppable until a tragic diagnosis abruptly ended it, leaving fans heartbroken and searching for answers. Meritt Butrick was an American actor from Gainesville, Florida. He's primarily remembered for portraying Dr. David Marcus in the science fiction films Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan in 1982 and Star Trek III: The Search for Spock in 1984. His character was depicted as a son of the Starfleet officer James Tiberius Jim Kirk, played by William Shatner, and the leading scientist Dr. Carol Marcus, played by Bibi Besh. In his television debut, Butrick portrayed a recurring rapist in 2 episodes of the police procedural Hill Street Blues. His first major role in television was portraying the supporting character Johnny Slash in the sitcom Square Pegs from 1982 to 1983. His character was depicted as a geeky high school student. Johnny demonstrated eccentric behavior, but insisted that he was not on drugs. In March 1989, Butrick died at the age of 29. His death was caused by toxoplasmosis, complicated by an AIDS infection. 2 panels were dedicated to him as part of the Names Project AIDS Memorial Quilt, both referencing his role as David Marcus. A few of his former co-stars have recorded anecdotes about his life and career in DVD featurettes, though Butrick had few confidants.
Maybe you should listen to them. I was wrong about you.
Number 20. Ian Charlton. He captivated audiences with his performance in Chariots of Fire, but Ian Charlton's final role was far from the spotlight, shrouded in secrecy and tragedy. Ian Charlton was a Scottish stage and film actor. He is best known internationally for his starring role as Olympic athlete and missionary Eric Liddell in the Oscar-winning 1981 film Chariots of Fire. He is also well known for his portrayal of Reverend Charlie Andrews in the 1982 Oscar-winning film Gandhi. Charlton was hired by Frank Dunlop's Young Vic Theatre Company. He made his professional stage debut in 1972 with the Young Vic as one of the brothers in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat in 1972, which was also televised in the UK that same year by Granada Television. Charlton, who was gay, was diagnosed with HIV in 1986 during the AIDS pandemic and died of AIDS-related causes in January 1990 at the age of 40. He died 8 weeks after performing the title role in a run of Hamlet in Richard Eyre's production at the Olivier Theatre. Fellow actor and friend Ian McClellan said that Charlton played Hamlet so well it was as if he had rehearsed the role all his life. Charlton requested that it be announced after his death that he had died of AIDS to publicize the condition. This unusual decision by a major internationally known actor, the first show business death in the United Kingdom openly attributed to complications from AIDS, helped promote awareness of HIV and AIDS and acceptance of AIDS patients.
Oh, my love is like a red, red rose.
Number 19. Robin Crosby. He rocked the stage with his band Rat, but Robin Crosby's wild life took a dark turn that fans never saw coming, leading to a tragic end. Robinson Crosby was an American guitarist who was a member of glam metal band Rat, earning several platinum albums in the US in the 1980s. Crosby was one of the original members of the San Diego rock band Mickey Rat, later to be rechristened simply Rat. He would end up co-writing many of Rat's songs, including Round and Round, Wanted Man, and Lay It Down. The album Out of the Cellar went to triple platinum based on Round and Round. Crosby eventually left Rat. Prior to leaving, Crosby worked as a producer for metal band Lillian Axe. In a June 1999 interview for a Rat episode of VH1's Behind the Music, Crosby talked about how drug addiction and his HIV status changed his life. "What has drug addiction done for me?" he asked. "It cost me my career, my fortune, basically my sex life when I found out I was HIV positive." In 2001, Crosby publicly stated that he had AIDS and had been HIV positive since 1994. He had also been in and out of the hospital for 8 years dealing with back problems and health issues associated with HIV. To occupy his time, he became a Little League coach and also worked on a guitar fan collector project, which is to create a limited edition run of Jackson King V Big Red replica guitars. Crosby died outside of a club in Minneapolis on June 6, 2002. Although his death was reported to be from complications from AIDS, he actually died of a heroin overdose, although he had also previously tested positive for HIV. Number 18. Brad Davis. He was a rising star who stole the screen in Midnight Express, but Brad Davis's life took a dramatic and secretive turn that left fans stunned. Born in Florida in 1949, Brad Davis moved to Georgia after graduating from high school to pursue an acting career. From there, he moved to New York City twice to find work. By the early 1970s, Davis was acting in off-Broadway plays while studying acting at the Academy of Dramatic Arts. His stage work led to his movie debut and to television shows such as the hit Sybil in 1976 and the miniseries Roots in 1977. His biggest success was in 1978 with the lead role in Midnight Express in 1978, where he played Billy Hayes, a young American imprisoned in Turkey for drug smuggling. It won him a Golden Globe Award. Davis contracted AIDS in 1979, apparently from his one-time cocaine addiction, but in response to anti-AIDS hysteria in Hollywood, Davis kept his illness secret for a number of years and continued to act. His later years had him finally revealing that he had AIDS by the late 1980s, and he became an AIDS activist, criticizing the Hollywood industry and the U.S. government for ignoring and shunning victims suffering from the hideous disease. Brad Davis died in 1991 at age 41. His widow, Susan Bluestein, continues his activist work in the fight against AIDS. Number 17. Robert Dreyfuss. A promising actor turned director, Robert Dreyfuss's career was cut short by a diagnosis that left many in disbelief, casting a shadow over his final years. Actor-turned-director Robert Dreyfuss showed dark, brooding power and strong potential on the 60s stage, film, and TV, but, in the long run, did not achieve the kind of success he deserved. Born on November 21, 1935, the Coral Gables, Florida native initially studied his craft at the universities of Chicago and Miami. He also trained at the Greek Playhouse in Athens and the Coconut Grove Playhouse in Miami. He was diagnosed with AIDS in the late 1980s. He was part of a generation of artists whose lives and careers were impacted by the AIDS epidemic. Despite his illness, Dreyfus continued to work until his health no longer allowed it. He passed away from complications related to AIDS on June 29, 1986, at the age of 50. His contributions to theater and television remain appreciated by those who remember his talent and dedication to the arts.
General, what are the orders, General? Shall I go back and check the oxygen tanks, General? Shall I put my face up close, General?
Number 16, Holm Elliot. He was the familiar face in so many classic films, but Holm Elliot's battle with a devastating illness remained hidden until the very end, shocking fans worldwide. Holm Elliot, CBE, was an English film, television, and theater actor. He appeared in more than 120 movies and television programs. In 1981, he won the BAFTA Award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role. In the 1980s, he won 3 consecutive British Academy and Film Television Arts BAFTA Awards. Best Supporting Actor for Trading Places as Dan Aykroyd's kindly butler, A Private Function, and Defense of the Realm, as well as an Academy Award nomination for A Room with a View. He also became familiar to a wider audience as the well-meaning but addle-plated Dr. Marcus Brody in Raiders of the Lost Ark in 1981 and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. A bisexual with many partners during his life, he tested HIV positive in 1987 and was diagnosed with AIDS in 1988. He continued working until a year before he died in 1992. Following his death, some sources stated that he acquired the AIDS virus from a blood transfusion. However, his widow, Susan, documented their open marriage and her husband's bisexuality in her book, Holm Elliot, Quest for Love, published 2 years after his death. Number 15, Wayland Flowers. Wayland Flowers entertained millions with his puppet Madame, but behind the laughs, he was hiding a battle that would only be revealed after his death. Wayland Parrott Flowers Jr. was an American actor, comedian, and puppeteer. Flowers was best known for the comedy act he created with his puppet Madame. His performances as Wayland Flowers and Madame were a major national success on stage and on screen in the 1970s and 1980s. In September 1987, Flowers was diagnosed with HIV, but he did not publicly announce his diagnosis and continued to perform. He eventually developed Kaposi's sarcoma, an AIDS-related cancer. On September 2, 1988, he collapsed on stage while performing at Harrah's in Lake Tahoe. After a brief hospitalization, he returned to his hometown of Dawson, Georgia, where he visited family. Upon returning to Los Angeles, he moved into the Hughes House Hospice for palliative care. On October 11, 1988, Flowers died at Hughes House of complications from AIDS-related Kaposi sarcoma at the age of 48. His remains were cremated at Grand View Memorial Park and Crematory in Glendale, California, and shipped back to his hometown of Dawson, Georgia, where they were interred at Cedar Hill Cemetery. He went on to be memorialized on the AIDS quilt, although his name was misspelled as Wayland Flowers. Number 14, Tom Fogerty. A rock legend, Tom Fogerty's music left a lasting impact, but his untimely death revealed a hidden truth that shocked fans and friends alike. Thomas Richard Fogerty was an American musician, best known as the rhythm guitarist for Creedence Clearwater Revival. He was posthumously inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1993. Tom Fogerty was born in Berkeley, California, United States. He began singing rock and roll in high school. Tom joined the band, and the group recorded 3 singles, with Tom on lead vocals, for Orchestra Records in 1961 and 1962. By the mid-1960s, the group had been renamed the Gollywogs and were recorded with Fantasy Records, with Tom and John sharing lead vocal duties. In 1967, the band was again renamed, this time to Creedence Clearwater Revival, and John had become full-time lead singer and primary songwriter. After leaving the band, Fogerty began performing and recording as a solo artist. He had minor hits like Goodbye Media Man, Cast the First Stone, Joyful Resurrection, and Bart. At some point in the 1980s, Fogerty underwent back surgery and was given a blood transfusion that was not screened for HIV. This caused him to become infected with the virus and subsequently resulted in his contraction of AIDS, alongside his ensuing complications with tuberculosis, all of which eventually led to his death on September 6, 1990. Number 13. Richard Frank. He brought unforgettable characters to life on screen, but Richard Frank's real-life struggle with illness was a story that few knew until it was too late. Richard Edward Frank was an American actor. He was perhaps best known as Father Vogler in the 1984 movie Amadeus. Frank had numerous guest appearances in television shows, with a regular role in the sitcom Anything But Love. Born in Boston, Frank was a graduate of Juilliard's acting school. In addition, Frank appeared in numerous theater productions, including Hang On to Me at the Guthrie Theater, directed by Peter Sellers, as well as many productions in Los Angeles, mostly at the Taper. He was diagnosed with AIDS in the late 1980s. He was a talented performer with notable appearances in shows like St. Elsewhere and Newhart. Despite his diagnosis, Frank continued to work as long as his health permitted. Unfortunately, he succumbed to complications related to AIDS on August 27, 1995, at the age of 42. His legacy includes his contributions to the entertainment industry and his courage in facing a challenging illness. Number 12. Leonard Fry. A Tony Award-nominated actor, Leonard Fry's career was one of talent and triumph, but his battle with a devastating disease was kept hidden from the public eye. Leonard Fry was an American actor. Fry received a nomination for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his role in the 1971 musical film Fiddler on the Roof. He made his stage debut in an off-Broadway production of Little Mary Sunshine and received a nomination for the Tony Award for Best Featured Actor in a Play for the National Health. Fry was born in Brooklyn, New York. After attending James Madison High School, he studied art at Cooper Union, with designs on becoming a painter, then switched to acting at New York City's Neighborhood Playhouse under acting coach Sanford Meisner and pursued a career in theater. Leonard passed away from complications related to AIDS on August 24, 1988, just 11 days shy of his 50th birthday. Fry was known not only for his remarkable acting skills, but also for his courage and openness about his sexuality during a time when being openly gay was fraught with challenges. His career included memorable performances in theater, television, and film, earning him respect and admiration for both peers and audiences. Despite his battle with AIDS, Fry remained dedicated to his craft, continuing to work and inspire those around him until his health no longer allowed it. His death in New York marked a significant loss for the entertainment community. Fry's legacy lives on through his impactful work and the courage he demonstrated in living his truth, paving the way for greater acceptance and understanding in the industry. Number 11. Tom Fucello. A familiar face on television, Tom Fucello's life took a tragic turn as he fought a battle against AIDS that remained largely hidden until the end. Tom Fucello appeared in the recurring role as U.S. Senator Dave Culver, son of Texas politician Sam Culver, on the CBS series Dallas from season 3 onward. Initially a theater actor, Fucello appeared in Broadway productions of Butterflies Are Free, The Unknown Soldier and His Wife, and Are You Now, or Have You Ever Been, in the 1970s. His first notable screen role was as Mark Elliot in the daytime soap opera Love is a Many Splendored Thing, from 1972 until its cancellation in 1973. He later portrayed the role of Paul Kendall in the ABC TV daytime soap opera One Life to Live from 1977 to 1979. He then had a recurring guest role on the original Dallas TV series as Senator Dave Culver from 1979 to 1991. The character was the former stepson of Donna Culver Krebs, who was played by Susan Howard. He was diagnosed with AIDS in the early 1990s. Despite the challenges posed by the illness, Fucello continued to pursue his passion for acting. Unfortunately, his health deteriorated, and he succumbed to complications related to AIDS in 1993 at the age of 56. Fiell's work remains appreciated by those who remember his talent and dedication to the arts. His battle with AIDS and his perseverance in the face of such adversity highlight his strength and commitment to his craft. Number 10. Dan Hartman. A hitmaker behind some of the biggest dance anthems of the 80s, Dan Hartman's untimely death revealed a hidden battle that no one saw coming. Daniel Earl Hartman was an American pop rock musician, multi-instrumentalist, producer, singer, and songwriter. He was the original frontman for several bands, including the Soploids, Mac and the Turnarounds, Our Ringer, Last Wing, and Orion. He was never married and had no children. He died on March 22, 1994, at his Westport, Connecticut home from a brain tumor at the age of 43. A closeted gay man, he was diagnosed with HIV in the late 1980s. He kept his HIV status a secret and did not seek treatment, even after friend and intermittent collaborator Holly Johnson, formerly of the band Frankie Goes to Hollywood, announced his own HIV status in 1991. Number 9. Anthony Holland. Known for his groundbreaking work in theater, Anthony Holland's life ended abruptly as the disease that claimed him shocked those who knew him. Anthony Holland, an American actor and a co-founder of the avant-garde theater group The Open Theater, was diagnosed with AIDS during the 1980s. Known for his versatility and creativity, Holland had a significant impact on both theater and film. Despite his diagnosis, he continued to work and inspire others with his artistic talents. Unfortunately, he passed away from complications related to AIDS on July 9, 1988, at the age of 60. Holland's legacy endures through his groundbreaking contributions to theater and his courageous battle against a devastating illness. His dedication to his craft and his openness about his condition helped raise awareness and foster understanding about AIDS in the arts community. Number 8. Paul Jabara. He was the genius behind some of disco's biggest hits, but Paul Jabara's life was cut short by an illness that shocked his devoted fans. Paul Frederick Jabara was an American actor, singer, and songwriter. He was born to a Lebanese family. Jabara was born in Brooklyn, New York. He graduated from Fort Hamilton High School in 1965 and briefly attended Long Island University in Brooklyn. On September 29, 1992, Jabara died from complications from AIDS in Los Angeles, California, at the age of 44. A memorial service was held on October 4, 1992, at the Forest Lawn Cemetery in Hollywood Hills. Jabara is buried at Greenwood Cemetery. He died at his Los Angeles home and was survived by his sisters, Dolores Jabara and Claudette Haddad. At the time of his death, major outlets, including the New York Times and the Los Angeles Times, were simply told by a spokesperson and Claudette, respectively, that he had died due to a long illness. Number 7. Irving Allen Lee. His roles on soap operas made him a household name, but Irving Allen Lee's untimely death revealed a battle that few knew he was fighting. Irving Allen Lee was an American actor, known for playing Detective Calvin Stoner on The Edge of the Night from 1977 to 1984, and Dr. Evan Cooper on Ryan's Hope from 1986 to 1988. He also appeared in Ain't Misbehavin' in the late 1970s. He died from an AIDS-related illness in 1992, age 43. Number 6. John Magna. He was unforgettable as Dill in To Kill a Mockingbird, but John Magna's life took a dark turn that led to a heartbreaking end. John Anthony Magna was an American actor, director, and teacher. His best-known role is that of Dill in the film To Kill a Mockingbird. John Anthony Magna was born in Ozone Park, Queens, New York, to Ralph W. Magna, a pharmacist, and Eleanor McGinley, a one-time nightclub singer. At age 6, Magna made his acting debut in Frank Loesser's Broadway musical Green Willow. At 7, he starred in All the Way Home an adaptation of James Agee's novel about the effect of a father's death on his family. Magna graduated from Cornell University as a performing arts major and later turned to directing plays. He was the founding director of LA Arts, a nonprofit theater group in Los Angeles. He later became a high school English teacher and last taught at James Monroe High School in North Hills, California. He also taught honors English at Holland Junior High in Boyle Heights. Magna was openly gay. He died from AIDS-related complications on September 5, 1995, at Midway Hospital in Los Angeles at the age of 42. Number 5. Cookie Mueller. A cult icon and beloved underground star, Cookie Mueller's life was full of eccentricities, but her tragic death was a sobering reminder of the realities of the AIDS epidemic. Dorothy Karen Cookie Mueller, March 2, 1949 to November 10, 1989, was an American actress, writer, and dreamlander who starred in many of filmmaker John Waters' early films, including Multiple Maniacs, Pink Flamingos, Female Trouble, and Desperate Living. Mueller wrote the health column Ask Dr. Mueller for the East Village Eye and was the art critic for Details magazine. Her Walking Through the Clear Water in a Pool Painted Black in 1990 was the first book published by the crisscross edited Native Agents imprint for Semiotext. Mueller died from AIDS-related causes on November 10, 1989 in New York City, aged 40. Her ashes are interred in multiple locations: on the beach near Provincetown, in the flower bed of the Church of St. Luke in the fields of Greenwich Village, alongside those of Vittorio and her dog Beauty in the Scarpati family crypt in Sorrento, Italy, under the statue of Christ the Redeemer atop Corcovado in Rio de Janeiro in the South Bronx, and in the holy waters of the Ganges River. She was survived by her son, Max Wolf Mueller, who appeared in Pink Flamingos. Number 4. Anthony Perkins. He terrified audiences as Norman Bates in Psycho. With Anthony Perkins' life was filled with secrets that only came to light after his death. Anthony Perkins was an American actor, director, and singer. Perkins portrayed Norman Bates in Alfred Hitchcock's suspense thriller Psycho, which made him an influential figure in pop culture and the realm of horror films. During the filming of Psycho 4: The Beginning, Perkins was undergoing treatment for a facial palsy. He was tested for HIV after an article in the National Enquirer, a tabloid newspaper, said he was HIV positive. His wife, Berenson, said her husband had not been tested for HIV, but had been given a series of blood tests in Los Angeles for the palsy on the side of his face. Ms. Berenson said she assumed that someone had tested her husband's blood for the virus and leaked the results to the tabloids. Perkins hid the fact that he had AIDS from the public for 2 years, going in and out of hospitals under assumed names. During this time, his wife and children were regularly tested. They all always came back negative. It was not until a few weeks before his death that he went public with the disease, although he had been working on movies during the time of his illness. He died at his Los Angeles home on September 12, 1992, from AIDS-related pneumonia at age 60. In a statement prepared before his death, Perkins said, "I chose not to go public about having AIDS because, to misquote Casablanca,
These are the devil's playthings, and those who touch them will burn.
We'll put another log on the fire, Reverend. Let's see a sample."
Number 3. Keith Prentice. He was a star of the groundbreaking The Boys in the Band, but Keith Prentice's battle with AIDS cut short a promising career and stunned his fans. Keith Prentice, an American actor known for his roles in both theater and film, was diagnosed with AIDS in the late 1980s. His diagnosis came as a shock to fans who admired his work in productions like the groundbreaking play and film The Boys in the Band. Despite his illness, Prentice continued to act, demonstrating remarkable resilience and dedication to his craft. Sadly, he succumbed to complications related to AIDS on September 27, 1992, at the age of 52. His passing was a significant loss to the entertainment community, and it highlighted the devastating impact of the AIDS epidemic on talented individuals in the arts. Prentice's legacy endures through his memorable performances and the courage he showed in facing his illness. fans continue to remember and celebrate his contributions to theater and film. Number 2, Dak Rambo. The handsome star of Dallas and Another World, Dak Rambo's candid announcement of his diagnosis shocked fans, revealing a hidden battle that few knew about. Dak Rambo, the handsome and talented American actor, known for his roles in popular TV shows like Dallas and Another World, shocked fans when he was diagnosed with AIDS in 1991. His diagnosis was a significant revelation, given his status as a beloved television star. Despite his illness, Rambo displayed immense courage, publicly sharing his condition to raise awareness about AIDS. He continued to work and inspire those around him until his health declined. Tragically, Rambo passed away from complications related to AIDS on March 21, 1994, at the age of 52. His openness about his diagnosis and his enduring performances left a lasting impact on fans and the entertainment industry. Number 1, Sharon Red. Known for her powerhouse voice and electrifying stage presence, Sharon Red's untimely death shocked the music world, revealing a devastating battle behind the scenes. Sharon Red, the dynamic American singer and actress known for her hit songs in the 1980s dance music scene, shocked fans when she was diagnosed with AIDS. Renowned for her powerful voice and vibrant stage presence, Red had a string of successful singles and albums that cemented her place in the music industry. Her diagnosis came as a surprise to many who admired her energetic performances and undeniable talent. Despite her illness, Red continued to perform and inspire those around her with her resilience and passion for music. Tragically, she succumbed to complications related to AIDS on May 1, 1992, at the age of 46. Her legacy endures through her unforgettable music and the courage she displayed in facing her illness. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Hollywood's hidden stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Check out our other videos for more jaw-dropping revelations. We'll see you in the next one.